Hi everyone, it's Lulu. How are you today? Again, as always, I hope your answer is that you're doing well, but I know that some of you aren't, and it's okay. It's okay. Trust me, it's okay. 1 hour at a time. Anyway, it's Sunday, and I thought I would film. I mentioned this in my Facebook group, Lulu's Beauty Friends. Very easy. And we talk about everything. Like tonight we're having an Oscar party. So that'll be fun, red carpet. Anyway, today I'm filming a video on my eyeshadow palettes. I originally intended to do a little bit of a declutter. Wasn't, like, I'm not doing it for room or, you know, it just, I know there's things that I don't reach for. And I started to do that, but my collection is so big that it would have been a forever video. So instead, I took out the ones that I know I'm not going to be keeping, and I'm just going to show you those. I realize it's difficult because you're not seeing the ones I am keeping, but I started with like 90 palettes. Now, mind you, that's not my singles, that's my palette. Of all the beauty categories, eyeshadow is my least favorite. I don't use lip pencils and I don't use eyeliner. I use eye pencils to tight line only. So I'm not counting those because I don't really use them, but of all the categories, you know, just in general, eyeshadow is my least favorite. But I still had. Anyway, so I think I took about 20 of them out. So let me just begin because I don't want this to be, and I'm just grabbing, I kind of threw them in a pile in front of me and I'm just grabbing. The first one I have, actually I think probably I need to talk about these side by side. Morphe, and I like Morphe, I am a Morphe fan. Morphe came out with a bronze and copper palette duo, and they were called 25A and 25B. I could not tell you which is which. Of the two, this is the warmer one, 25A, and the colors are coming across much, much brighter and lighter than they really are. This is a very deep, dark palette, as a matter of fact, and it's almost, most of them are matte. The colors are so similar, it's almost impossible to differentiate them on the eye. The reason I'm getting rid of this, and many of these you'll see the same reason, is it's simply overall too dark a palette. I don't wear dark eyeshadows, and though this overall, it's not a quality issue, it's certainly not a price issue, you know, it just there's too many darks. And then the other one, which is 25B, which is slightly cooler, not much. I mean, copper, bronze, those are warm colors. Again, appears much brighter than it actually is. I'm looking at it in the screen, and overall very dark, deep. This one has a few plums. This is 25B, but just too dark overall. So those are going. Okay, then I have CoverGirl. These came out, the True Naked. They were kind of takeoffs from the Urban Decay Naked line. And I have it in the Goldens and the Nudes. So this one is the Goldens. Beautiful colors, very decent wearing. Everything is going to come across brighter than it is. I'm just a natural light, and the windows are quite far from me, so I'm sorry. I got really, let's start with why I bought these, and you'll see I was trying to depot my Naked 1 and Naked 2. I got into some depotting mood, and I just ruined them. One of them is still intact, but I was on the way to doing it when I realized, don't do this. And so these came out about the time I was doing that. I thought, you know what, I'll just get these instead of repurchasing the Urban Decay Naked 1 and Naked 2. But I really find I don't reach for them, and I don't know why, because they really are great palettes. And then the other one was, did I show you the Goldens? It's almost futile to show you anything because everything is coming across so bright. Oh well. Okay, so getting rid of those. This is an oldie but goodie. Had this a long time. This is, it looks like it would be Wet n Wild, but it's from Black Radiance, which is their sister company. And lovely kind of subdued jewel tone colors in the greens and the browns. I think if you like the Natasha Denona, what were her first two? Green, brown, and blue, purple? I don't remember. But these colors just remind me of one of those palettes. I think it's the green brown. It's beautiful. The name of it, and I have no idea what the name of it is. Eye Appeal, or is that the name of the line? I'm sorry. I know where the name is. Oh, it probably was on the sticker I pulled off. But I'm getting rid of that. Okay, then this is by Physicians Formula. They were the first, I feel like one of the first that really had a complete matte shadow palette. I'm going back 10, 15 years. And they had a few of them. This is Metallic Canyon. So then they came out with shimmery versions. Now maybe they always had them and I didn't know, but this is Metallic Canyon. And a couple of things. It's very old, which doesn't bother me at all in a powder product, but because of that, the formula isn't good. I mean, formulas, cars, clothes, stretch jeans, cameras, everything has come so far. And so opinions you might have had about something, anything, makeup or otherwise, 5, 10 years ago could be completely, they've probably reformulated and revised, 10 times. And unfortunately, these feel chalky now. I mean, it could be because they're old, but they feel chalky now and things like that. So that's not, I have a feeling banks might be jumping up here soon. Maybe not. Okay, next one will probably surprise a lot of you. It's by Juvia's Place, which is a darling of the YouTube community. It's an indie brand that really has hit it big, smart marketing using YouTube. It's a beautiful palette. This one is, I don't know the name of it, but it's the greenish one. You can kind of tell by the covers. Lovely colors. Beautiful formula. But overall, once again, not coming across, overall too dark. Just overall, just too dark for me. This one is borderline too dark, but still in all, with as many palettes as I have, I don't need to be keeping this. Urban Decay is at Walmart only and probably online. I've tried Urban Decay. I've tried probably everything. Their lipsticks, what is the name of their foundation? It's very high coverage. I've tried everything, and everything I've tried is okay. It's okay. Their lip products probably of everything I've tried have been the best. And this palette looks very much like a Vizart palette. And this is called the Matte Eyeshadow Pro Palette. Matte Eyeshadow Pro Palette. To me, they are, let me preface this by saying, I don't mind if a shadow palette is not highly pigmented. I don't, it's easier for me to work with. Those that are highly pigmented, Juvia's Place is one of them, are almost too much for me with my old crepey eyelids. And you have to blend and you have to blend and the skin's moving with you. Ugh. Anyway, it's just too easy to make a mistake. And then what do you do when you have too much eyeshadow on? I don't have time to redo everything in the morning. So this one is kind of the opposite, and it builds beautifully. It does build beautifully, but I'm a 5 to 10 minute makeup routine and I'm out the door. I'm out the door. And I don't have time to build and play. I don't use it. So it's going. Clinique. This almost looks like a kind of a wallet. This was from a few holidays ago. And let me get this covered up. Does it bend all the way back? It does not. It does not. There we go. Beautiful color selection. I will tell you, this is, as a color selection, this is, for me, almost a perfect palette. This has very, very little pigment, even too little for me. It breaks my heart because these are taupes and purples and beiges and light pinks. Everything you could want. There's crease colors, just everything. It's a beautiful palette. But I don't reach for it. It's bulky and I can't, the darks go on a little patchy. If someone were patient, they would do this. Maybe it's the brush I opt to use with them. I've tried, anyway, it's going. Speaking of being naked, this is Naked 2, I believe. And see, I took the cover off because I thought it would be easier to press out once I got the pans like loose. And then I just stopped and I said, this is crazy. I have to tell you, as a, I don't believe anyone's a makeup collector, please. But it's a polite word, isn't it? As a makeup collector, it hurts me to not have Naked 1, 2, and 3. 3 I had, and I think I sold it. 1 I depotted and made a mess, and here is 2. They are just so iconic. Like, they started the whole revolution of really palettes in general, and this entire nude, naked. I mean, there are more dupes than you can count. And I feel like as a collector, I use that term loosely, I should have them in my collection, and it pains me. It just pains me not to. Okay, it doesn't pain me. Those of you who love makeup as much as I do, you understand. So this is going, only because it bothers me that it's not intact. It bothers me. Would anybody know if I were out and about? Oh, this one, I must have started with this one. Anyway, would anybody know I'm out and about? Oh, her palette is all not intact. No, of course not. They wouldn't even know what eyeshadow I'm wearing. Anyway. All right, Makeup Academy. For a long time, we couldn't get it here. I believe some CVSs sell it. I haven't seen it at any of my CVSs, but I have 3 of their palettes. I believe these that have the round shadow pots are very old. I can't remember, honestly. This is called Undressed. And once again, overall, looks brighter than it is. It's simply too dark for me. If I could have just the top row, which of course I could, because these are my palettes, I could do it. Keeping in mind that I have 90 other or 70 other palettes, it's ridiculous. This one, I keep going back and forth. Should I keep it or not? The quality is good. It's, for me, I'm not a makeup pro, but this one is lighter. It's not as light as you see, but it's really nice. It's got nice crease colors, but it's got to go. And this one I believe is called Undressed Me Too, T-O-O, Undressed Me Too. And this one is called Smokin' Palette, and you can just see it's too dark. It's just too dark. So, if you like dark, that's a nice one. I don't know if I've given this one a fair shot. I don't have to give it a fair shot. But this is they still sell this, I believe. This is the L'Oreal La Palette Nude 1. And the colors are beautiful. Again, look at it in the store if you're interested in it. And I'm not sure why I'm taking this out of my collection other than I never, ever reach for it. And I'm looking at it now thinking, this is gorgeous, and it may land up staying. I know that it is not highly pigmented, so if you like that, do not pick this up as much as you like the colors. Again, for me, this is okay. They apply smoothly. I remember liking it. Why I never reached for it, I don't know. Maybe I forgot about it. You know what? I'm keeping this one. This one is one I have much, much, much sentimental attachment to, and this may stay as well just because. This is the Lorac Pro To Go. This went to Disney with me more times than I can count. We are Disney fanatics, and we've gone many, many times. And this is, from the time I got this, because we went before that, but from the time I got this, I want to say this is the only thing I packed. I mean, aside from foundation and mascara and all of that. I'm a very light packer in general, but this has neutral shadows in it, and then you open it up, and it has they're deeper. They're much deeper than you see, but there's a bronzer, there's a peachy color and a pinky color, and they applied beautifully, not too heavy. They look, when you see them, you go, oh, they're a little dark, but they applied really beautifully. And this is what I took, and I kind of want to keep it, but I don't. Normally, I do not like palettes of any kind that mix like face and cheek and lip and eye. I want all shadows or all blushes or all highlighters or all bronzers, because that's how I keep my collection. And when you have as much as I do, you kind of have to keep it that way. So then you get one that has shadows and blushes, and you're like, does this go in the shadow or does this go in the blush? Makes me crazy. And so day to day, I'm not at Disney, I'm not traveling, and I don't know, I have to think about this one. Estee Lauder Sultry Nudes. I've barely used this. Isn't that pretty? Too dark, just too dark. Too dark. And not very pigmented. So if you're thinking, oh, the quality of Estee Lauder shadows, there's some in general. I'm going to get to a Laura Geller. I love Laura Geller. If you watch QVC, you actually know her, and she is just a delight. And her lip products, I think, are #1. Her blush are right up there. I don't mean #1, but I mean in her line. Blushes are beautiful. Certainly everybody knows her Balance and Brighten. If you know Laura Geller, you know it, and her powder foundations. But when it comes to eyeshadow, and here is the eyeshadow palette. This is called Creme Glaze Deluxe. Lovely combination of colors. Really lovely. Not too dark, darker than they appear. Lovely combination of colors. But they're just, when they go on the eye, they're kind of blah. They're kind of, I don't know, it's the same way I feel about the Clinique. It's just, I don't reach for it. Let's just put it that way. It's tempting to keep just because I like Laura Geller so much, but her shadows, I don't think, her liquid, like her concealers, her liquid foundations, I'm not a fan of. Mascara, there's one, I don't remember the name, that I finally liked, and I really liked it. I think it's her most recent one that she launched. Couldn't tell you the name. It's in my mascara collection, though. And I kept it. I really whittled down my mascaras, and I kept it. Anywho, this is a Wet n Wild. It was a limited edition. You know how Wet n Wild does that all the time. And it's very pastel, spring colors, pretty. Colors I don't wear. I think I bought it because it was limited edition. You know, whopping $3 or $4. But anyway, this one I keep going back and forth. This is the famous, infamous Sonia Kashuk neutrals. She was also a pioneer with matte, particularly a large matte palette. This was all the rave for a long time in all the makeup communities, whether online, you know, when they were just getting started. This was, I think she had 2 of them. I think this is #2. But again, now they feel powdery, they feel chalky. They don't feel as elegant as the newer matte palettes that are coming out. And therefore, it's a nice variety of colors, definitely can distinguish among the colors. Sonia Kashuk is no longer making makeup. If you've been to Target recently, it's all about her brushes, and the display is gorgeous. Her brush display at Target, and she's added an upscale line, but her essential line is fabulous. New kits, lovely. So the makeup is gone. It was all clearanced a while ago. And for sentimental reasons, once again, I might want to keep it. I don't know. This is kind of maybe a maybe. And the last one I have is BH Cosmetics. Now, I want to say, this is old. And I believe BH Cosmetics has come a really long way in the quality of their makeup across the board. I haven't looked. I'd be really curious to buy this because they're well, to me they're inexpensive, but I'd be curious to buy this palette now and see how different it is. This is the 28 Neutral palette. It is almost a perfect palette for me. The colors are just fabulous. Just neutral, you know, I can't, there is no such thing as too many neutral palettes, even though I don't like eyeshadow. These are beautiful. The formula, though, is almost non-existent. I mean, the pigmentation, even for me, and I don't have time to play with it. But I will tell you, this could be a one-stop. This color range and the finishes, mostly matte, right? Some sheen, some satins. Maybe they are all matte. I don't remember. It's been that long. There's a shimmery one. So this could be, if I were to say well, maybe not. I love my Lorac Mega Pros, all 4 of them. But you know what I mean. This is a perfect. if I were a logical, reasonable makeup person, I could live with this palette if the quality were good. And there you have it. Those are the ones I'm leaving behind. I think maybe I'm going to keep this out on my van. Maybe this is going to be this week's, I put together a weekly makeup basket, 7-day tray, whatever you want to call it. I think I'm going to use that this week. I really have to think about this one. I have, you know, it won't kill me. I have plenty of room. I could keep this one. And it's silly to keep the Sonia Kashuk. Like what? She's going to come to my 80th birthday party and say, oh, you kept my, you know. All right, it's going. And they will all go to good homes. I've talked about that before. They do go to good homes. So thank you so much for joining me. Maybe someday I'll do my favorite palettes. I probably will do my favorite shadow palettes. That not all of them, but maybe my top 15. I don't have a top 5. I don't have a top 10. I love everything. Anyway, y'all have a great, y'all. I'm from Chicago. Where did y'all come from? I talk to people all over the country all the time, so I do tend to pick up on those things. Take care. Have a great week ahead of you. Thank you so much for taking time to watch this. Bye-bye.